couldn't estimate the height. We're going to do knives today.
Knives. Oh, I thought we did knives. Oh, we did cuts.
We did
Oh,
skin
these are
cuts.
the 4 topics. Okay, knives. Okay, you've asked us the question here, Philip. Is a knife a weapon or a tool?
It can be both.
It can be both. And you want to go on with the other questions, or?
Not necessarily. Just look at them, and we can.
All right. Is a knife a weapon or a tool? Well, it's kind of like an atomic bomb. It could be either one. It could be used for.
How could an atomic bomb be a tool?
Well, it's a tool. Atomic bomb. Atomic energy can be used to create energy, or it can be used to blow up the world.
Nuclear power or a nuclear bomb.
Can you name anything that used for good that could not also be used for evil?
I'll start to say pillow.
A pillow?
You smother somebody with
You smother somebody with it. That's right. I've seen that in the movies. Yeah.
Well, knives are traditionally, historically, knives were used as a tool, I think.
Oh, I think so.
Primarily.
Yeah, I don't think Abel killed Cain with a knife, as far as I understand. He hit him with a rock.
Yeah. And
So I don't know when they started using knives.
early
to
man
cut people,
to kill meat, they had knives and spears.
That's right. That's right.
But it was basically a tool, and the knife extended its use into cutting arrows or carving out things or whatever they needed knives.
Whittling.
Yeah. But I was going to bring some samples. I've got a machete over there in the on the patio, and I got my little pocket knife.
I have my pocket knife here.
Yeah, well,
Do you carry a pocket knife?
I don't carry it around all the time, but I have one.
Well, I have several, and I keep them in a jar on a shelf at home, and I always forget to have them. But
Is it a case?
That's a case, right?
I've got
there.
one.
That's a little pocket knife, because I don't like for a heavy pocket knife to weigh me down.
The one I've got is a case, just like this, but it's just slightly bigger.
Mm-hmm. I like the little one because mostly what I use them for is like cutting a piece of string or something like that.
Yeah, that's.
And I don't really need a big one.
If we have to, if it comes down to us having to use a pocket knife for a weapon,
Yeah.
We already bought the farm anyway. it ain't gonna match up to whatever criminal we're trying to fight.
Well, that's true. That's true. And a pocket knife is not made for fighting because it folds over. It can fold over and cut your finger.
It can for
not
kids. Kids have to watch out for that. I gave my grandsons pocket knives.
We used to play a little game with pocket knives. You remember when we were kids, we'd put them in the grass and you'd flip it. That game was called something.
Mumbly Pig.
Oh, Mumbly Pig? I think that was it.
Oh, they played that on
Mumbly
Lonesome
Pig.
Dove. You remember that scene where they're doing it with the knives out there?
Oh, did they? Okay. I didn't remember that. But yeah, I remember playing that when I was a kid. My daddy taught us.
I think it's called Mumbly Pig.
You flip it and see if you can get it to flip up and come down and stick in the ground.
Yeah.
That's what bored children do. They come up with games like Mumbly Pig.
Well, aside from that little knife you just showed me, what's the smallest knife you've ever seen?
The smallest knife I've ever seen probably went on a keychain or something.
Yeah, well, I doubt that.
Something smaller than.
No, that's considered a knife but it's useless almost. You know, it's so tiny. There's a little keychain.
Well, there was a guy out in the mountains that hiked in the mountains that he failed and got his arm stuck in a crevice.
Oh yeah, I've heard that
and
story.
he had a little knife in his pocket that was from Cracker Jacks, just a little tiny knife, and he actually cut his arm off with that knife. In order to get, he would die if he didn't get out of it.
I thought he had like a Swiss Army knife that he used.
Well, the story could have been exaggerated at some point, but it was a small knife.
I think it has been exaggerated. Yeah. They made a movie out of it.
He had to break the arm so he could.
Yeah.
So he
I just can't imagine doing that. But when you're thinking about
if you're gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah, those scenes where they reenacted on a movie or TV, there's no way they can depict what actually happened.
That's true.
With the emotions and what the guy went through and
That's true. Well, there was no boy lived close to where I lived out in Bratt, Florida, out here. One of them roly boys.
Yeah.
But anyway, this old boy, a snake bit him on the thumb, and he was like 12 years old, just a kid.
Who was that?
This roly boy I was
the roly boy.
Stay with me,
We're past that kid cut his arm off.
Yeah. This is another guy. He was 12 years old.
Okay.
He did a similar thing. He was just a boy out in the woods, out here in Brant, and a snake bit him on the thumb, and he took his David Crockett hatchet. You know, all boys have a little hatchet, and cut his own thumb off.
Cut his own thumb off. A rolling boy.
Yeah. Now, them rollers are tough. Now, I don't remember which one it was. It might have been David. I think David had all his fingers.
Well,
but it was one of them roly boys that he had heard, you know, he had to get back to the house from the woods.
yeah.
And so he knew it would poison him, you know, poison. So he just immediately, he didn't even think. He took his hatchet and cut his thumb off and wrapped it up in a shirt and went back to the house.
Gee,
And he was fine.
good grief.
Quickly, he didn't have much time to make that decision.
Oh gosh.
pretty
Well,
good.
well, he was a kid. How old was he? About 12.
About 12. Yeah.
I guess a kid can be taught a responsible use of a knife.
Mm-hmm. Surely can. Yeah.
Didn't Cameron collect knives for a while? Did he?
Oh, he was into knives. He's now into guns. He's moving quickly into machine guns.
Pretty soon having a big old 50 caliber.
I think he's working on
Yeah.
he's working on bombs now. he said his dream was to blow something up. Yeah.
He sounds like Clint.
I worry about him, but he seems pretty normal. You know, except for the bombs.
Yeah. Well, I know knives are generally made out of metal. They're stainless steel or whatever kind of metal they use that they can sharpen real good. But are there other materials that knives are made out of besides?
Aren't they made out of these plastic materials? Some kind of
That's what I'm asking.
composite thing?
I think so.
I think they can make pretty sharp blades like these fillet knives and stuff. They're very sharp, extremely sharp. But
What are
they
they
don't-
made from? Is it it's not a metal?
I'm not sure. I think it might be. You could sharpen. I mean, you can cut yourself on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could sharpen a piece of paper. I don't know how you would do that. It won't
Well, to sharpen something, it requires the thing you're sharpening to have some sort of
rigidity.
rigidity and hardness.
How you like that word? It's pretty good. I came right up with that.
Yeah, very good. Rigidity. I have a problem with rigidity.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it came right off the top of my head there. It just came to me
yeah.
while we were talking there.
Well, we're getting off topic here, but rigidity has a couple of different meanings too.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, you can be rigid in your beliefs, or a piece of wood can be rigid, or metal can be rigid.
That's true. That's true.
But I don't know if you've seen it or heard it, but I think mostly been done on TV or movies where these killers, an assassin would create a sharp instrument out of ice, and then when he stabs the guy, the ice melts and there's no murder weapon left.
Well, there's an idea.
They've done that in the movies. But
I must have saw that on a Columbo or something.
something like that.
How did Columbo find the clue? He found water around the wound or something.
Yeah, well, ceramics, maybe a ceramic knife.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Forged in a kiln, melted down from rock or something to make.
But still, modern knives are predominantly made out of steel.
Oh yeah, and I think that's the most convenient, easiest way to make a knife out of metal.
Yeah. They probably got some special knives. They haven't shown them on advertisements on TV yet, but the Navy SEALs, they got these special lights and stuff, and they got special knives.
Yeah.
They probably got some special material made from New Zealand or something.
I'm gonna tell you, I flashlights die on me so fast. Ronnie gives me flashlights. I buy flashlights. I keep them in my tank bag on the motorcycle. I keep some in the house. But I can't keep the batteries alive. I go to use it and the battery's dead. But when I go to Clint's house, my son up in Georgia, he's got these, they're like seal flashlights. You go outside at night because he's got all that property, and it's like the size of like a drill, size of a drill, bigger than that sometimes. And it's got the battery on the bottom. And he aims that thing out there, and it's like burns the trees almost. It's so bright.
I like a good flashlight. In fact, I bought my own flashlight when I worked up there at the prison for a while. And you got to walk in and check them prisoners in their cells.
Yeah, they let you use your own?
No, they busted me.
Oh.
They wrote me up for bringing in my own flashlight. And the prisoners, though, they complained. I shined it in and they said, "Shut that light off!"
Yeah.
We waking them up. Had them all woke up and hollering. People said, "Auburn, every time you walk down the road down there, you get everybody upset." I wake them up with that flashlight.
That's a good strategy. Keep them tired.
Yeah, keep them tired.
Turn on that light every now and then.
But now, speaking of flashlights, now we're digressing. But I like the head flashlight, and most people won't use my head. I say, "You want to use my flashlight?" And they say, "No, I don't."
It's too confining for me. I like to have more precise aiming of the light than just what I have to do my head like this.
Yeah, well, it gives you a third arm. You can do your head.
Well, your head is the poor excuse for an arm.
It works pretty good for me, and it frees up both of my hands.
Yeah, well, getting back to knives.
Yeah, we digress.
We don't have a whole lot of.
I came up with that word too.
We don't have a whole lot of material about knives, and it's been a while. I'm not used to. It just occurred to me my recording wave line over there is not very big, so I think I'm going to have to play with it once it gets all recorded.
Yeah, you may have to listen to it and see.
I have to adjust it.
You probably don't have it turned up. You always tell me to turn mine down, but I turn them up. You don't know about it, and that's how come I get such a good recording.
Let me adjust this a second. Keep talking like you're talking.
Okay, I'm talking away here, just like you said, and we're talking about knives today.
Let's try that.
Yeah, I turned it up to the high gain.
That operates different from that focus, right? But if I talk a little louder, let's see, here we go. I'm talking a little louder.
Yeah, we're just talking low right now. Okay, that's better.
But I don't know. We did that segment on cutting skin cuts.
Yeah.
And largely the skin cuts that we got as kids was from a knife. I remember Jim Lee had a scabbard knife.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't a fold-up knife. It was a what do they call
Yeah, it was
it?
a cool thing to have. Yeah, it was just like an Indian knife. They call
Yeah.
it,
Marty had one time, I think.
Yeah.
And,
But a pocket knife is usually utilitarian. A sheath knife, that's usually for hunting
yeah.
or maybe fighting.
Well, you see a lot of these worker guys, blue-collar guys that do plumbing and electricians and all. They have a little scabbard, and they have a
Pocket knife.
A pocket knife, but it's a massive pocket knife. They pull it out, and it looks like
It's got
a
all
hunting
kind of
knife.
tools in it.
Yeah. But
That's too much for me. I don't use it.
I guess that's purposes of safety to have it fold up instead of just stuck it. You
I suppose so.
pull it out and cut your leg or your arm or somebody. I don't know.
Are knives dangerous for children to have?
Well, they can be, I guess. Yeah, a little kid that don't know how to use it.
How old should a little boy be when you give him his first pocket knife?
Old enough to have it.
Well, I gave Cameron his first knife, and the first thing he did, I should have known better, was he went in on my leather couch. He went in and made several slices in the leather. I said, it's just too tempting,
Yeah.
I mean, that knife just tempted him. He just asked him why he did it, and he didn't know.
The irresponsibility
there.
factor, you got to contend with that. But as in all things, in previous times in history, when we grew up faster, we were more responsible faster. We would probably have a knife earlier than like today modern kids. Only thing they're responsible for is to go to school. And sometimes they don't even do that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And we could easily digress over into youth again. That's a topic. It's easy to.
Well, you remember that the 9/11. What they call it when these terrorists took over the airplanes and flew them into the Twin Towers.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they took control? They had a utility knife. It's because of that, utility knives were banned on the airplanes. You couldn't carry it in your gear, carry on, stuff like that.
They used utility.
They used utility knives to cut the pilot's throat and laid him out there. He just bled to death.
What are you calling a utility knife?
You got a little retractor on the top on some of them, but most of them.
You're talking about like a box cutter.
A box cutter, yeah. Just a box cutter.
Oh, really?
That's what they used, yeah. They couldn't get anything else in the carry-on luggage except the box cutter.
I'm surprised they didn't catch them. You got
Well,
a metal blade.
you're thinking about it in hindsight. At that point, there was no danger of a box until they used it that way and it commandeered those airplanes. But yeah, there's all kinds of different knives and all kinds of purposes for knives. Gly brought, or she had me not long after she got here. Machetes are real popular in the Philippines.
That's when they're going through the jungle and all that.
Yeah, cutting weeds and stuff. And so she didn't want to use my cutters. She wanted a machete. So we went and bought a machete, and it was a cheap one. And it got dull real quick because it got a little gap. The way she was cutting it, she was trying to cut the chain link fence, I think.
Yeah.
But those machetes have been used for nefarious purposes too. In other countries, Africa.
Cutting people's heads off.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a place for knives because of the necessity for cutting things.
Yeah, I wonder, how that boy broke his arm before he could cut his arm off. When they do that machete thing and cut their heads off, do they have to break their neck first?
No, that machete is so sharp it just goes
Cuts right through the bone.
The spinal cord in the back of your neck is, it's only about as big around as, it's small enough that you could cut. But it's the tendons and the skin and the muscle and everything else is what that knife has to go through. The actual bone is, I don't think it's much of a problem.
I've always heard these Japanese samurai with their samurai swords.
Oh, those big samurai sword knives, yeah.
Yeah, that they were so sharp, they could get an edge on a blade that they could take a scarf and throw it up and hold the knife, and the scarf would settle on top of that knife, and it would cut it. It would cut it in half.
Sounds like a myth.
You think?
Yeah, what time we got?
What time to a hog, Philip? We've been going about 5 minutes since we.
No way.
Yeah. There it is right there.
Well, we started at 7:25, didn't we?
We're going about 10 minutes.
So that thing's going so fast because I got it on a big scale. I can't tell.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Yeah. But this would be accurate. Yeah, we started about 7:25. So.
Well, I just don't know what else to talk about on knives. I had made that subject up when I had all kinds of thoughts.
Yeah, we might ought to go to another subject. That was very close to the cutting thing. What is the best material to make? Well, we covered just about all of it. You may have to fit it in with something else, knives, and go right on into milk or something.
Yeah. Well, what kind of knives do you have in the kitchen?
I like a serrated blade
For bread.
like a long. Well, for bread and lots of things, you don't have to sharpen them. You never have to sharpen them.
You don't have to sharpen serrated blades?
I don't think so. I never do. They stay sharp. You can cut yourself on them real easy. I have one it's about yay long.
Yeah.
It's like a butcher knife, and it's a light knife, but I use it for everything. But now I've got another one like a big wide blade. You can sharpen it, but it just doesn't stay sharp very long.
Yeah,
a lot of those kitchen knives don't stay sharp.
I think it has to do with the serration, the shape, the serrated edge. It's like a shark's teeth.
Kind of like teeth.
A shark will grab and shake to do that sawing motion.
Right.
But that's
I use the serrated blade a lot. Like if I'm going to cut a steak or something on my plate, I would use steak knives are usually a serrated edge.
Yeah, they're just finer teeth on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that.
But kitchen knives, those electric knives.
Did you ever have an electric knife?
We have an electric knife. They're excellent for cutting turkey.
Yeah.
But you know what else they're excellent for? And you're a artist, a craftsman, sort of. Mm-hmm. Have you ever gotten this foam stuff that you had to shape it and cut it?
Oh yeah.
To say put a chair cushion.
Right.
You can use your electric knife for that.
Yeah, I've done that.
Because there's no good way to cut that stuff.
Right.
It comes out, but you can take an electric knife and it just cuts it right.
I had one in my various marriages and moves from house to house and everywhere. I've lost it. I don't know where it is now. But I love that electric knife for cutting the turkey in Thanksgiving.
Yeah, there's two blades in there. Apparently they're doing kind of like
they do.
that.
They slide back and forth like that. Yeah, that was an excellent tool for the kitchen.
I don't know. I think it's a male thing about gadgets. Every time I see a new gadget or a new knife, I just have to have it on TV.
Well,
I go looking for it. But I love gadgets, and knives are coming in all kind of forms.
well, the gadget.
I guess that's why little boys like knives. So good.
Little boys like knives because it gives them a power to
Tear up something.
tear something up, cut something. You know, like the camera under the couch. You know, I cut you.
Yeah, he loves those knives. He's 18 now, but he still loves those knives.
Yeah, I like to have a knife in the kitchen to eat with because I use that knife not just for cutting like meat, but I use it to help shovel the food. You know, you push the food, use both hands. You know, I learned to eat after I turned 20 years old when I went to Europe. I learned how to eat properly at the table.
From the Austrians?
From the Austrians, the Europeans. The European way is you use both hands, and you use the knife and the fork. You don't cut your food and then put your knife down and use your fork and eat. And then when you cut again, you change hands and cut it, lay the knife down. And you just keep both of them in your hands. You keep cutting and eating like that.
Well, Americans do that.
Well, casually, but in fancy restaurant, you're supposed to properly cut and then lay the tool down and then eat with your fork.
Oh, well, here's the thing. When you cut, see, I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me if I'm to do the cutting. The fork, I'm just holding the meat stick.
Right.
And then I cut with my right hand, and then since I'm right-handed, I put my fork down and my knife, and I take the fork and pick it up. And
See,
eat
there's
it.
that awkward motion of exchanging tools with.
Well, all you're doing is just eating with your offhand. You would just cut it and then eat it with your
Right, with the fork. Yeah, you just cut and eat. And that's,
You think that's better?
well, it's, it's faster. I mean, it's more.
You got to
more
eat fast.
convenient.
They keep
It's not-
telling us to eat slower.
It's not so much eating fast, it's just convenient, you know. You I may lay my knife down and forget where I put it, you know.
Keep your weapons handy, huh? In your hand.
Keep them in your
Because
hand.
somebody may attack you, like in the house we grew up. You know, the pile of biscuits. One of your brothers might attack you for
You
that.
got that knife there, you can warn him.
Yeah, you got to you eat that biscuit with one hand and hold that knife up.
Otherwise, you'd be stabbed
To the
with a
rest of it.
fork.
Yeah. That's like when me and Travis was down there in Louisiana hitchhiking late one night, about 2 a.m. The mosquitoes down there on that Louisiana bayou, they're big as your fist. And we heard two mosquitoes over in the bushes talking. One of them said, "Let's go get these boys and eat them." And the other one said, "We better not. Them big ones will take them away from us."
Is that the same night y'all rubbed bacon fat all over you to keep the mosquitoes off?
No, that was another night. Yeah, Ronnie Travis had read that on the internet. They didn't have no internet then.
They just,
They
somebody
read it
told
in a
them.
magazine. Somebody told them.
From Joe Hubbard or something. told
You
them.
can imagine what bacon grease would do for mosquitoes. They said, "Man, bacon breakfast, boys."
There's some of them ne'er-do-well drunkards on the roads over there they run into told them
Yeah, they tried it. They like to die.
that. Yeah.
Well, I've tried many things like that too. I got sunburned one time, and I thought that if I took a hot shower or if I took a cold shower, because my back was about to burn up, and it just multiplied. It just itched like 1,000 ants on my back.
What was it?
I got sunburned. I went to the beach
sunburn.
one time when I was younger, and I got sunburned real bad.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do anything to get relief. I was just so miserable. And I thought if I took a cold shower, it would help. And that cold shower just multiplied it. I don't know why. But no, that's the most painful thing I ever felt was burn pain.
Well, talking about pain, when you cut your skin with a knife, if you've got tougher skin, you can cut. Sometimes you can cut and it won't even bleed. It won't go down to. It's because your nerves are down in a lower epithelial layer, so you don't feel any pain until it goes into the nerve.
Well, if you got calluses on your hands.
That's what I mean. It'll build up layers of callous skin. So you're just tougher, like your feet walking barefoot. You get to the point where you could walk on glass just about and it wouldn't hurt. You know?
Well, that's kind of where we were when we were boys, running around barefoot all the time. Well, horses get tough feet.
Hey, when you go into a store like a Bondurant's hardware store, can you resist looking at the case of knives?
No, I always look at them.
I do too. It's something about it. I'm just enthralled by all those knives.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing that's in Little Boy. They see that. I don't know what it is. What's the infatuation with that?
I don't know. I would, but see, as I'm getting older, I'm that way about shoes. I've got so many shoes, and for most of my life, at least half my life, I only had like one pair of shoes, maybe a daily pair and then a Sunday pair. But I must have 100 pair of shoes now. And it's all the same shoe. Every time I go to the shoe store, I see a pair of shoes that I must have. I just have to get out of there to keep from buying them. Of course, it helps that I don't have no money.
But I've never been that way with clothes or shoes or anything. I could wear the same pair of shoes for all my life if they wouldn't wear out, And clothes same way. I just wear them till they got holes in them because they're comfortable. And
No, man, I could have a new outfit once a week. If I had the money, I'd be shopping. That's why I told Gwen when we got married I was the perfect man. I said, I don't hunt or fish or watch sports or drink beer, but then I love to go shopping. She said,
well, my closets in this little house were virtually empty. I had like half of one closet for my clothes till Gly came. Now they're all full. They're all full of hanging clothes everywhere. She just keeps buying clothes.
Yeah.
But I'm happy just with the same thing.
But don't you like to just put on a fresh new shirt if you get a shirt for Christmas?
No, I don't like wearing a new shirt.
You know?
I have to wash it first or step on it or do something. Walk around it a little bit.
Throw it in the dirt and put some smudges in, pour some mustard on it and wring it out.
Yeah. But no, I don't like new clothes. There's something about the feel, that crispness. I like looking at it when I see somebody. We used to tease this friend of mine I rode motorcycles with. He would come off on a trip and we'd be camping and we'd get our showers and all ready to sit around the fire and talk. And he'd break out his new shirt he bought for it, and it'd still have the little creases where it was folded, And we teased it. I nudged one of my. I said, "Listen for a second, what Marvin? Listen to Marvin." So I'd ask him, "Marvin, is that a new shirt?" And he'd have to explain. Yeah,
got a bargain on it.
Carrie bought it. It still had a little tag on it, But we knew it was a new one because he had just come out of his tent with his brand new shirt with the folds. I took it out of the package.
Hey, when you buy something new, do you take the greatest pride in having something that's really expensive, or do you take greater pride in having gotten it for a low price? Which one do you start bragging about first? I mean, I got this $2. I got this shirt.
No, I think the more expensive. I
paid $1,000 for this shirt.
Yeah, I would think I would be more proud of the expense. Because I know in my mind, even though I like comfort and old and worn stuff, I want good stuff. I want it to be good and expensive, good quality.
So do you follow the paradigm then that generally the higher the quality, the higher the price?
Yeah, I think so, basically.
I pretty much do too.
Marketing plays a factor in that, of course. Nikes cost more than
branding, yeah.
Kmart shoes. So branding plays a part in the price. But generally, the quality, the higher price is better quality. We went to buy me some, we're getting way off topic here, but we went to buy me a pair of dress shoes a couple of weeks ago. Gly said she'd buy me some dress shoes. Mm-hmm. I went in there and I started looking at the old...
Did you get them pointy-toed shoes?
No, I started looking at Rockports, the ones that are comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
She came over there and she said, what about those? They were like a name brand. They were like $120. And I said, I don't want to spend that much for just a pair of shoes. I'll just get my old comfy Rockports. And, they're on sale for $65. And yeah. She said, try these. So I put them on. Man, those expensive shoes felt more comfortable than any shoe I ever put on. And they were light, comfortable, the way they hugged your foot. I said, you paid for these, right? She said, I'll take them.
Do you remember what the name of them was?
Cole Haan or something.
Cole Haan. That's all I wear is Cole Haan.
Cole Haan.
Once I started wearing Cole Haan, I can't. Of course, I wear these. These are more walking shoes, but dress shoes.
Yeah.
And Kohan, man, that is my favorite shoe.
Yeah.
I can go through all the shoes, and I always end up back at the Kohans. If they got the style I'm looking for, you know.
But a knife will still cut them.
Knife will still cut.
Let's end our knife thing here. I don't care how